There's still some symmetry. Some darker color. I wouldn't mind even some lighter color too. A lighter color. This green. I'm not going to use green. Oh, we could do some turquoise. Let's do turquoise. No particular reason. Let's go ahead and get this spread out here. More white, that's okay. Plain white for once. Actually, we could probably leave a little bit of a gap. Probably wouldn't hurt. What I'm thinking I'm going to do. Oh, hey, Humor. How goes it? Getting through all those TV shows. Then I discovered it looks like I haven't seen the last 2 seasons on Acorn, but there's only 4 episodes on one and 2 on the other, but they're like 2 hours long. So I've got quite a bit of Midsummer to catch up on that preview. That'll probably form a lot of what I'm going to be doing with it. Are you enjoying back? I found there was, I think it's around episode 4. Maybe it's one where there's a winery, something like that, that I found really funny. You know, some of those shows, they have to sort of gain steam. And I'm glad to see that. I'm sorry that's knocking so much. I really should have checked those. Let's see if I can. Oh, hey, Dan. Let's try to level this out. Oh, hold it right on out of there. Humor and I have a. Oh, shoot. Oh, I've really done it now. I was trying to pull this out a little bit so I could make the canvas more level, and I accidentally pulled it right out of there. Well, that'll be okay, I think. Hopefully it's level enough. Anyway, we have a free preview on our internet service. We have the same one, so we get the same previews. And so Humor is finally getting to watch back. I'm finally getting to watch season 2 of Back, and there's some Midsummer seasons I haven't seen on there. And Humor got to try the watch and go, "Oh my God, I'm not watching this." But at least you know you don't feel like you're missing anything now. You got to try it. That's what matters. So that's to quickly catch you up on our TV watching, which I know is the big draw of my streams. I had to change it to what I'm watching on TV. Oh, I have not seen that. Now my eye is itching, which could not be at a worse time. So I'm going to have to deglove and deal with that. There we go. Yes, Humor. And some of them, I mean, some of them it's okay to sort of get your own spin on it, and some of it was just unnecessary. But we watched it anyway. It became a show we love to hate. But you know, we'd watch it together, and Steve and I, and complain each episode about the things we didn't like. Oh, hey, Firebird. Decided to try a slightly different approach. Let me get some of this I'll get some of these out, but I'm sure I'll have to do it again too. Bubble wrap. Here we go. But it changes the whole meaning, doesn't it, when you skip a letter? Let's try for this. Well, I mixed up a bunch of this red, so I'm going to use it. Hey, Firebird. I hope you're having a nice day. Steve is back asleep. Steve had his second dose of Moderna yesterday, and it seemed to kind of follow what seems to be a typical pattern. He was okay at first. Oh, I said Firebird. It's gloomy here. It's weirdly gloomy here, but not actually raining. So anyway, he was okay at first. Well, boy, this is a breeze. But then he'd moved a bunch of wood. Steve's a woodworker. And was feeling sore, but he didn't know if that was why. And then, but seemed kind of okay other than that last night. And then this morning started having more and more problems, and finally just went to bed for a few hours. But then when he got up, he seemed to be okay again. But then I noticed he'd gone back to sleep, so I don't know if he's not feeling well again. I'm not sure, or if might be a little too much. I'm going to overdone that white, but we won't panic. So anyway, he was back asleep again, so I figured I'd wander out here. Yeah, it's really, it got cloudy. It's one of those muggy days here, you know, where it's cloudy. Lots of deer, though. I even posted a short video on my Instagram of me watching, well, not me watching it, when I was watching the deer. Then they came closer, but I was in the house and I didn't want to scare them. I've been watching. When I came out here earlier, I watched the deer and did some paint mixing and canvas prep. Ooh, boy, that's kind of pretty. Let's see if we can use this up on the sides. There's so much paint here. I hate to see that go to waste. Yes. I was reading about why it is because my neighbor, who's an immunologist, was telling me that the younger people do worse with the side effects. Older people tend to have a better time with the vaccination side effects than younger people, and it has to do with that our immune systems are not as robust as younger people's. I'm just going to put this on there. It seems like too much to waste. I'm just going to put it down there. I'm just going to keep on with that. I like that. I'm going to keep on with it. So that's why younger people have a harder time. But in the end, you get the same protection, whether you had an easier time or a harder time. So it's a good deal for us older people. At least that was her take on it. She's younger. And she was like, it's the only time in my life I wish I were an old person. You know, she didn't say like you, though. I'm going to give her credit. Probably thinking it. She didn't say it. But it's nice. If I ever get really desperate for information, I ask her because she's a professor of immunology and apparently is one of the people in my area that is kind of in touch with things. All right, Firebird, thanks for coming by. I'm going to roll a marble on this in case you're wondering what you're going to be missing. She's very nice, and she doesn't mind talking about it, you know. Likes to share her knowledge. Yes, I've been taking vitamin D. I had a few years ago, I was still in California. I had a doctor that believed in running lab tests, which was very nice. I mean, what he figured is if something's wrong, it'll show up somewhere on a lab test. And I found out I was vitamin D deficient, and that was in California. So since then, I've taken vitamin D supplements. Steve as well. boy, there's a lot more bubbles on that. Let me just get those out of there. I'm going to try this marble roll. Boy, that's pretty though. It's pretty just on its own, isn't it? The colors are very nice. No, but I have my second shot Wednesday, so I'm obsessed with please don't let me catch it and not be able to get my second shot Wednesday. So that's where I'm at. I go, no, I was near somebody. It has that irony factor that I don't know if the universe can ignore, you know, the idea that you're just about to get that shot. But we'll keep our fingers crossed. You know, I really like this. I wonder if I'm going to go ahead with the marble, but because we can always do this part again and do something else with it. But that's very intriguing. I'm just going to drop them. I'm just going to drop the marble there. I like the way this came out though in general. That's really nice, I think. I'm going to get rid of that red thing right there. Little droplet I got on there. Some of this is a little thicker than others. I'm just going to crissy cross through here, I think. And maybe we'll do some tilting. I was watching this lady, and she was doing something like this and spinning. People spin these sometimes. And she was sitting there in her house, in her living room, beautiful antique furniture. And she had like this, one of those plastic kids bathtubs, like right there in her dining room. And I'm like, oh my God, that woman must have nerves of steel. I just can't imagine. I mean, I often joke that I couldn't have even taken up this type of painting if I didn't have a separate place I could go and get paint all over it. So I was like, oh, geez. It was both impressive and, you know, you just kind of wonder. If I had beautiful furniture like that, I would be a little nervous about doing this, especially spinning it. I'm just going to roll that off there. I'm going to tilt it, see what happens. I like this so far. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it, but I like it so far. Right now I'm just going to try and move the paint around a little bit, even it out. There's some places where the paint's very thick and other places where it's very thin. I like these colors though and everything. I like that little bit of bright red. I mixed up a bunch today, so I thought, oh, I'll use some of that red. And I'm glad I did. It's pretty. It works well. It works well in here. There's some cells for me. I'm not that crazy about what's going on with these purple, I'm going to call them the purple wings here on the side. I'd like that to be a little bit more interesting what it's doing in there. I don't want to miss out on all I'm getting here. Come down. I think what it is, we had all the paint there kind of on the side, you know, in the middle between the V pattern I made. So it's sort of, that's interesting too. I said that's the only part, I like all this, but these little wing parts here, I'm not sure I like those. You could even do something on them, like do a flip cup or something, add some extra paint. You could run the marble back through, actually. There's no reason why we couldn't do that. If I knew where the marble was. Oh, there it is. I suppose we can do that. Let's try it. Even just make it just a little more an interesting pattern going on there. Don't get too far into there. Let's try that a little bit on this side. This part I'm not as crazy about, so I don't mind rolling that marble through there a little bit. But I don't want to get it too, it's starting to get a little muddy in that section, so let's not go too crazy doing this. But there's some areas I can see too don't have enough paint, so I'm going to try and roll that marble over there and get a little bit more paint in there too. And then I'm just going to roll that down there where there's very little paint. Oop. Rolled it off a little before I meant to. I think it's too bad you can't just hold it. I can't just hold that center section just the way it is and just make the sides move. But there's no real way to do that. Either the whole thing moves or nothing moves. I like that. It's almost like a path running through there. That's a lot of white. Looks like a lot of white down here. Maybe we'll bring that down. Maybe we'll bring that. I don't want to lose that red. That red's really pretty. I don't want to overdo this and lose that. Pour off a little bit of that white though. I'd love to get more going up there, like I said, in those corners. That's better. I said, even if I pour more paint on there, it might do that. Yes, yes, I see. I do see what you're saying. Absolutely. I like these colors though. Like I said, I don't want to lose what's good about this. I'm gonna try. I love this. Really loving this part. I'm just thinking if I do want to like pour a little bit more paint or something, get a flip cup and pour some more paint on there. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. Sure, it doesn't hurt anything to try it. Let's see here. I'm really liking that red, so I think I'll try a little bit more red. And more of this purple. Maybe a dash of violet, just to give it a little bit of a oomph. Something light. And a little turquoise, just a little. Actually, I don't know if I want to do a flip cup. I think I might do just a straight pour and then swipe it and move it around that way. I'm not sure. Let's try a little bit of a straight pour. Actually, put a straight pour on and then put that marble back on there. Let's try that. Oh, shoot. Okay, that is going right on the floor. Just messing around too much with it. This will add some paint in here and maybe make it a little, I'd like it to be a little bit more subtle, I think. I think it's too jarring the way those patterns are. They're competing too much with the center light bit. So let's just try and move them around a little more. Okay, then I'm going to try and move this, and then I'll do the other side. I'll do it side by side rather than all at once. Look it over there. Okay. I have some bubbles too, so I might want to take a minute and pop those. Oh, that one doesn't want to come out. That one's some other way. One of those other things or something. Let's try and get a little bit more down here. Probably didn't get much red in that one because I kind of poured it all at once. So this, I wonder if I need to do that side. Now that side's not looking so bad to me. Let's go ahead though. I'm just going to go ahead and do one, even a line. Oh, that's interesting. I want to do that there too. I like that red. That red going in a line there. I like it. Don't know why, but I do. Where's that marble? Actually, this is really doing some good. I don't know if I need the marble. I'll use the marble, but I don't know that I need to. Probably just sort of, I'm just going to run it through there though a little bit. Just doing something a little weird with it. Okay, I like that. I'm just going to roll that off because I kind of like that the way it is. I'm going to roll this one too. Don't know that we need to tilt it a lot. We might want to just leave it just rolled like that and not tilt it at all. Don't have to tilt it. It's not a requirement. Let's see if I can roll over that bubble. It's a huge bubble. A bubble that would dwarf the very sun in here. Oh, I like those. I like those red patterns. I think I might leave this one. Leave it as an abstract. We do something else with it if we want to later. But I like it. I like the colors. And I don't want to, although we could do some simple, if we saw something simple in it, we could definitely do that. Like if you turned it this way, for example, that looks very much like a tree to me. Of course, what doesn't look like a tree? I know what you're saying. Everything looks like a tree to you. But I can't help it. It looks like a tree. But I don't really know what, if I, for sure I want to make it be a tree. So I might want to let that dry and decide. But I like these little side wings. I think are so pretty that we just did. No, I might roll the marble through the white again. I just want to maybe break that up a little bit better, a little bit more, a little something. Let's see, where's the marble? I'll dry off the one we've been using. If I can find it. Is it there? It should be. I just rolled it off. I didn't do anything weird. Oh, there it is. It blends. Okay, I think we'll do that. I'm going to go through the center again and roll that a little bit more. See if I can get something as cool as what these side wings are. I know, not much chance of that, but we can sure try. And just maybe leave it as what it does here. When we tilt it, it loses something. I mean, sometimes it can help, but sometimes it loses something too. I'm just going to try and roll that right on off where the other one was. Tilt maybe a little more. I don't want to lose my wings though. Those wings are so pretty. Let's see how much they, I don't want to do too much. And I'm going to leave that because I really like some of these things and I don't want to risk messing that up. So I'm just going to put that to one side. We'll see how